Yo, what's up everybody, Jaxxsin here, and I've recently had several viewers request more Fallout 4 videos, such as my War Against the Brotherhood of Steel video. I've considered this request very seriously and have decided that before I venture back into Fallout 4, I need to purge myself of all the negativity that I still hold for that game and its console release. I know I've expressed my views on Fallout 4 across several videos at this point, but I never felt like I had hit this particularly complex nail just right. In this video, I'm going to try to comprehensively and definitively describe everything about Fallout 4's console release that just ruined the Fallout 4 experience for me. Then I'm going to talk about all the things that I still love about the game and where in my opinion it still holds up easily as one of the funnest games I personally played in 2015. Alright, now in the beginning, with stars still struck wide in my eyes, Fallout 4 seems such the seductive mistress, caressing me lovingly with memories of the past by feeling like an updated Fallout 3, which in many ways it is. I felt like the UI was much easier to interact with and that the perk tree was streamlined and simplified, but not beyond the point where there was no complexity remaining in it. This kept the game feeling fresh every time I leveled, and it added an excitement to that act as I pored over the many available skills in the talent tree. Then about halfway through, I discovered Grognak's axe and his wicked awesome cosplay of gear that immediately reset my priorities. I frantically began changing the course of my special tree from guns and sneaking into a mean and lean melee build that would soon overpower any living thing walking the wasteland. I was absolutely in love with this game. I was eating it up. Then the edges started to wear thin, and the lazy fucking popped out. Now, some of you may be under the impression that my disconnect from Fallout 4 began with the infamous underground undercover bug that completely cuts off the player's ability to turn the quest into Desdemona, and as a cause, completely brick walls that quest. Though this was an awful situation that I had found myself in, and was most definitely my breaking point, my anger with Fallout 4 had begun days before I found myself scouring GameFAQs and Reddit for a solution to this problem. It really began to set in about the fourth time I found myself returning to the same rock quarry for the same settlement to protect them by killing the same raiders I'd already killed at least 3 times by this point. I began to question, how is this game deciding which settlement is under the threat of attack? And why does it always seem to be the same 2 or 3 settlements? Every time. I'd been avoiding main story missions, dude. I had been sticking to side quests and exploration exclusively. I hadn't even discovered Dr. Virgil in the far south, and yet I was already feeling the burn. Another problem that kept cropping up was bugs. VATS bugs, NPC bugs, companions bugs, fucking bugs, all sorts of getting stuck in the middle of the goddamn wasteland with a 1 hour ago save with some random bugged out enemy keeping you in combat so you can't fast travel out from under the goddamn freeway. Bugs! Now most of these bugs started out as small and even humorous things that felt familiar also, as the other Bethesda titles that I'm most familiar with, Fallout 3 and Oblivion, were also fairly buggy and bumpy experiences, but for some reason I just didn't feel the same way about them as I did about Fallout 4. I soon began to ponder this through my gameplay sessions, as it left a nagging question bumping around inside of my head. Why do I care about the bugs in Fallout 4 more than I do in Fallout 3, or even in Oblivion? What is it about Fallout 4 that is leaving me feeling as unfulfilled as a bum with 10 $1 bills in a strip club? It began to become clear the second I had to reload an old save due to yet another encountered bug, and I decided to approach this particular mission I was on from the point of an asshole. I was dismayed to find out that the quest played out exactly as it had with the nice guy routine, albeit a few lines of dialogues meant to make your character appear tough or something, I suppose. It was then that I realized what was lacking. I was disinterested with the stories and encounters that they had designed, and the more I examined the situation, the more I began to realize that I had been going off the beaten path and exploring for a reason. This game's story was getting boring. It was during this time that I decided to wage my own preemptive war against the Brotherhood of Steel and all the hate that they had been sending strong in Valentine's way. I found the spark I had lost briefly, and my love for Fallout 4 was reinvigorated, despite the constant pleas from Preston to save the same 3 settlements from being attacked over and over and over again. This is when I encountered the Des bug. I had finished every side quest I could find and had explored at least 85% of the wasteland. I had even dinked around down south in my power armor, hunting Deathclaws and legendary gear alike. I was done and ready to move on with the game and get the ending I had been chasing since I was first introduced to the railroad. Now Desdemona is just staring at me like I'm an asshole, and I can't for some reason explain to her that the synths at the Institute headquarters are armed and ready to bust out. I'm forced to either assassinate my own son or join him and take over his elitist group of arrogant, self-righteous assholes. I decided on the latter because my character may be many things, but an assassin and a coward he is not. There was no way he was going to kill a helpless old man, who also happens to have cancer, and who also happens to be his kidnapped son, who he'd been trying to find the whole time. My character was fine with saying fuck the Institute. He viewed them as cowards who had hid underground with the means to not only bring order to the wasteland, but also healing. But he was not okay with killing his son. So I chose the Institute and decided that I would get the railroad ending on my next playthrough. Yeah, I'll get it next playthrough. It wasn't long on my next character where the game just became too damn much. I began to hate the dialogue and the fact that I was forced to do this damn grind from low level again. I had previously heard about a glitch involving dog meat that would duplicate any item in the game for you, including the few special books that could be found throughout the game. I had avoided this glitch on my previous playthrough not because I didn't want to cheat, but because by the time I even knew about this bug, I'd already found Grognak's gear and it would be irrelevant and pointless of me to duplicate anything, as my character had already become a godlike figure roaming the wasteland, striking fear into any foolish enough to cross his path. But on the second playthrough, where I'd begun to feel the burn of the RPG elements of the game, and really didn't want to have to scramble for ammo and healing for the greater part of 9 hours, I decided to dupe the damn special book and get my character to the Institute. Everything runs smooth this time, and I'm thinking the whole time I got it this time. No problems, I got it. Then I'm running along the deck of the Pridewind as it's about to explode. I hop in the vertibird and loony old Tinker and Tom is flying away. I watch the Pridewind explode as Tom rambles out some generic boring ass line of dialogue. So boring that I can't even recall at this moment what they even were. But for some reason, he decides to land right next to the airport and forces me to get out. I'm thinking, alright, I'm curious to see where this is going, when all of a sudden, 2 Brotherhood Knights with laser Gatling guns come running out of the fire that is the destroyed Pridewind, and proceed to shoot Tom's dumbass right out of the sky. It was so legit that I honestly thought that's what was supposed to happen, and I didn't even bother to capture the thing because I was avoiding capturing spoilers at that point. I opened my map, whipped back to the Institute, and found out once again that Desdemona had nothing to say to me. Once again, I found myself in a situation where I could not simply warn the main NPC that the objective of the quest had been fulfilled and the big bad scary Brotherhood of Steel was nothing more than fucking rubble at this point. Nope, she doesn't want to hear it. It was then that I had finally lost it. Whatever magic that had captivated me in the beginning had finally wore off, and I was finished with Fallout 4. I had finally just reached this fuck it moment, then I deleted the game from my console and went about my day. I hadn't even touched the thing until I started to gather footage for this video, and a strange thing happened when I did. I began to once again see all the things that I loved about the game, like the base building that you could literally lose hours to, creating a wide variety of structures to house and defend your settlers. One thing that still bugs me about that is the cap on how much you could build though. This always seemed like a very ill-conceived limitation to put on the player to me. Luckily, I learned of another glitch to expand your building limitation, but why not just have it like that from the beginning? But then there's also the Wasteland, which is a living, breathing character in its own right. I love stumbling onto random gunfights going on and staying hidden just to see what happens. I also love the added companion system and enjoyed all of the available companion story arcs, most notably Piper and Kate. Being an ex-drug addict myself, I especially enjoyed Kate's entire arc, and I love being able to help her get clean and take control of her life once again. I loved how customizable the companions were, and it made it easier to step into the role of Grognak with a proper barbarian queen by my side. In the end, I feel like Fallout 4 works best as a sandbox title. The atmosphere is excellent in Fallout 4 in every way except when you're initiating the same old dialogue with the same old NPC that yields the same old conclusion as the last time, no matter the dialogue option you pick. The story felt bland, and honestly, most of the voice actors just bugged the absolute shit out of me. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed Fallout 4 because Bethesda created an incredibly entertaining world to fuck off in, and that is the exact thing that has been tempting me back to it since I began to gather footage for this video. Anyway, this is of course only one man's opinion and experience, and I understand if you played this on the PC, you got a whole different story to tell, so let me know in the comments about your favorite experiences in Fallout 4, or even your most frustrating. I hope you all enjoyed my retrospective look at Fallout 4, and if you did, hey, show me some support and hit that like button. I love you guys, and until next time, keep being as damn awesome as I goddamn know you are. That's Jaxxsin, and I'm out of here.